For those who don't know me, my name is Alan Stein, and Woody and I were best friends since sometime in the 1970s. My wife Marcia and I moved to Waterbury in 1975, not long after Woody and Florence moved there. And we stayed in Waterbury until we moved to Massachusetts in 2012, after I retired, and we began to spend winters in Netanya. During the time Woody was president of Bethel Synagogue, I was president of the Jewish Federation, which was then based in Waterbury, and at Woody's insistence was also an officer at Bethel because Woody insisted he wouldn't become president unless I was in his cabinet. I met Woody playing volleyball with him at the Jewish Community Center. We couldn't talk much while playing volleyball, but we got to talk in the locker room. We were also in the Jewish Federation's Young Leadership Group and really bonded. We were together on the boards of both the Jewish Federation and Bethel Synagogue. We were always discussing issues and would usually sit together at board meetings. Then something would come up, something we had talked about, and Woody would prod me to tell the board what he wanted done. Woody pulled the strings. Of course, we usually lost. From the moment I met him, Woody was talking about how much he wanted to move from Waterbury. He would tell me about job interviews he went on, and I always hoped he wouldn't take another job that would enable him to move away. Ironically, during the nearly half a century Woody lived in Waterbury, almost everyone else we knew there when we were younger moved elsewhere, but thankfully Woody remained. There's a stereotype of someone who would give you the shirt off his back. Woody was always there and eager to help whenever I needed a friend. I never needed the shirt off his back, but almost every time he came back to Waterbury, from Florida, from Maine, or from any vacation, I would get a new t-shirt, like this one, or a new cap. He loved buying caps. When we were much younger, before the injuries he received in Vietnam kept him from playing sports, we played some tennis together. Believe it or not, I once even played with Florence. I remember the first time playing with Woody. Remember, he was big. He was one of the few friends I had to look up to. And he was athletic. I was afraid I'd be facing monster shots that would drive me off the court. But almost every shot he hit was a lob or a slice. Woody found the world, especially the Jewish world, a wondrous place. When he went to a synagogue anywhere, he would come back with stories about the different ways they did things there, and would often adopt them as his own. He got excited whenever he found someone famous was Jewish, or even just had Jewish roots. One year, Woody's brother-in-law got a new sukkah and gave Woody his old one. He was so excited. Every year we put it up together, and Woody and Florence would have a sukkah party and invite everyone they could think of. And each party had to be bigger than the one the year before. For years, we also went together to what was then the annual Pilot Pen tennis tournament in New Haven. We would pick a day when there was a discount for AAA members. Woody, was always looking for a bargain. We'd drive there, put on suntan lotion, enjoy a pleasant afternoon, watching tennis, walking around the grounds, accumulating freebies, and eating the nasharai we brought. And then on the way home, we had to take a certain route that passed a certain farm stand he loved where they sold homemade ice cream using the milk from the cows on the farm. Woody loved to negotiate. Whenever he bought a new car, he'd boast about the deal he negotiated and all the extras he got thrown into the deal. He'd renegotiate deals with the cell phone company and with the cable company. I lost track of how many times he renegotiated his mortgage. For a while, Woody and Gary and I were in real estate together. We weren't very successful. When we finally got out, we were thrilled to have only lost about half of our original investment. But Woody did pick up some new skills, especially after we learned and realized how much money we were losing. We tried to do as much of the work as we could ourselves. I was the handiest of the three of us. Woody was my assistant while Gary handled the legal end of things. We painted together. We replaced countless electric outlets. We pulled up carpeting and tiles. We did plumbing repairs together. Woody became so proud of his painting skills and started deciding parts of his condo kept needing touching up. It seemed that every time Woody and Florence came back from Florida, he'd soon proudly show me what he had just repainted, which was often the same wall he'd repainted the year before. When I told him that Marcia and I were repainting our kitchen, he insisted on helping. Only after he left did we notice that he had not only painted the wall, but had also painted the Formica backsplash. Fortunately, the paint was fresh, it was water-based, and it was easy to remove. I never had the heart to tell him. Woody was the only person I knew who watched the Weather Channel. This came in handy, especially before internet and weather apps. Anytime I wanted to know the forecast, in Waterbury or somewhere I was planning to go, I could call Woody and he'd tell me. During the winter, when he was in Florida, but snow was forecast from Connecticut, he'd invariably call me and tell me. And also tell me how beautiful the weather was in Miami Beach. Each fall, before Woody and Florence left for Florida, he would drop off his car to get shipped there, and I'd meet him and drive him home. He, of course, always tried to negotiate with the shipping company. I can't help but wonder, were it not for the pandemic, that he'd still be with us this year and enjoying himself in Florida. 20 years ago, it rained on the day of my mother's funeral. And in the eulogy, I said, God must be crying. I've been in Israel through the pandemic, and it was raining in Netanya almost continually from the time Woody died until his burial. I can't help but think that once again, God was crying. Goodbye, Woody. We'll always remember you. We've been blessed to know you.